Hi Leo, welcome to your January 2022 Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and rising sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Leo, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general, so not everything's going to resonate. With that said, you should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you all on your paths to your highest vibrational good. So before we get into it, remember that this is a new year. Happy New Year to you. Happy 2022. I truly hope that it is your best year yet. Remember, you're starting the year with a fresh slate, right? With a clean slate, with a fresh start in front of you. And I want to remind you to utilize the energy of this 6th year in that same spirit, right? So if there's something or someone that you are working with or alongside that has been challenging, give them a fresh start, give them a do-over, because sometimes, you know, we've all been in that space where we wish we could have another chance or another crack at something. This could be that time where tapping into that energy might make all the difference between yours and somebody else's year, or the connection that you have with them. All right, for your actions and interactions with the world at large, you've got the 6 of Pentacles, right? You literally just can't make this stuff up. The fact that we have the 6 of Pentacles is very telling, because this suggests that not only are you open to the idea of maybe burying a hatchet, it also suggests that you are ready, willing and able to negotiate on something. And it does suggest that you are more open or maybe more acquiescing than you have been before, right? The 6 of Pentacles isn't just about karmic debts and stuff like that. It's also about the transactional nature of things. And what this suggests to me is this is going to be a month where you are very likely doing what you can to negotiate yourself a better deal, absolutely, on, you know, purchases, on all kinds of things, but also where you're starting to look at the give and take of all situations. This is going to see you being really honest with yourself about who builds you up, who holds you back, who holds you down. Like, this is going to see you really get into the core of what's the word? It's going to see you really get into the core, not only of who you are, but more importantly of your own intrinsic value. And that's not even necessarily on maybe on a financial level, but it's not just solely on a financial or a material level. This is you really upgrading how you see yourself and how valuable what you bring to the world actually is, and starting to really capitalize on that. And again, not just for profit, not just for money, not just for greed, but for you really saying, okay, you know what, I know what I bring, and so I'm going to have to make sure that from now on, anyone or anything that I deal with is coming at me with that same energy. If not, it's not aligned and it's not going to work. That 6 of Pentacles tells me that you're about to start treating yourself a lot more fairly, Leo. And I think this for all of us, right? Sun, moon or ascendant people, this is a time where that is much, much needed. And I think it will be interesting to see what happens. I was going to say the cat is now amongst the pigeons, but it's not, is it? It's the lion. The lion is now amongst the pigeons. So it will be interesting to see what and who falls away now, right? Especially as you upgrade how you see yourself, you bring that more into alignment. It's going to be interesting to see what or who can no longer hold your vibration anymore. So that being said, the other thing that I want to say with this as well, finally, because it's just the first card out, is this could also see you working with or towards some sort of charitable effort, or something that if you feel you're supposed to give back to the world, or to even to a person as well. For your money and materials, you've got the 4 of Swords, right? So remember what I said to you about negotiating a better deal? This could be the time to do that, right? Now, the 4 of Swords is basically saying to you, this is not a time for big purchases, big money, big finances. Remember, especially for those of you that are ascendant Leos, Mercury rules your money houses, so your 2nd house and your 11th house. So just keep that in mind. But with that said, the 4 of Swords is basically saying to you, this is not a month for big purchases. It is a time for you to maybe conserve and preserve your funds. And that's not to say that there's any issues. This suggests to me that there's going to be something that you want more, something bigger, something that is, you know, maybe the cherry on the top for you personally. that you will need that money for. So don't spend it now, wait, because the thing that you want, you need, that you desire the most is on its way to you, and you're going to need the funds for that. Now you've got this with the Six of Pentacles. Remember what I said, this is a time, especially this month, whatever it is that you want or need, if you do see something and you think, I like that, but I don't want to pay that price for it, negotiate your tushy off. All right, Leos can be very charismatic, can be very suave when they need to be, even a little bit sophisticated, I might add. So this is that time, right? You've got the gift of the gab, use it. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Eight of Pentacles. So this is all to do with your work, right? Literally. And it falls next to the Four of Swords. So if you find money slows down a bit, maybe the funds flowing in aren't, maybe they're not hitting the numbers that you usually like to see, etc. Do not panic. This is a time, actually, enjoy the slowdown while you have it. One of the things that happens with the Four of Swords, and I noticed this about 6-7 years ago, it tends to show up for people and say, take a rest now, because you're going to need it. You're going to be busy later on, and you won't have the opportunity to rest later. So this, with that Eight of Pentacles, tells me that if there is a slowdown in the work or the finances over the course of this month, do not fret, right? Because you're going to get all that back and way more going forward. This also suggests as well, when it comes to communications, this is a time where up-leveling through conversation is going to be important. This is a month to surround yourself with people, or connect with people, or talk to people that have knowledge, that have wisdom, that have information, right? Hit up friends, colleagues or peers in your field. Like, this is a time for you to really think about who you know in your network that you can utilize as a resource. This is a time for you to connect with people, and not, again, remember what I said, not in that transactional way. You don't want people doing it to you this month, so you don't do it to them, right? You've got to stay in your integrity. It is, after all, the Eight of Pentacles. So in some way, shape or form, it does suggest that there is an equal give and take of service here somewhere, right? So hit up your people, have those conversations, speak to the people that have done the things that you want to do, all of that kind of stuff. It's like this month, your brain is a sponge, but it's a sponge through communication and through doing. So the more you talk to people, the more you're going to take things in auditorily, and you'll be able to really integrate that through conversations, right? So it's like your work this month should include speaking to people that have, people that you want to emulate, people that have got the knowledge and the wisdom, and then asking in that same breath, what can I do for you? What can I offer you? What can I give you for the knowledge and the wisdom that you're sharing with me? All right. For your heart and hearth, you have the Magician card, right? You've got this right next to the Eight of Pentacles. The partner's work, the partner's finances, the partner's money is doing very well this month, right? So look at this. Your finances might slow down a bit, but that's great, because the universe is giving you time to study, time to have these conversations, time to pool your resources, time to think about what the next steps might be. And then here, the partner's money, finances and resources are like, oh, hey, they're starting to pick up, right? Now, for those of you that are single and you're thinking, oh, crap, well, I don't have a partner, so cheers, Raf. First of all, I should steal the cards and read them. Second, that's not to say, because remember, your heart and half is also your familial ties and the people that really are close to you. So, the family that you choose. This suggests to me, right, that someone in your network that loves and cares about you could extend some sort of gift. Maybe they help increase your business somehow. Maybe they come up with a place that you can go to work, or they decide to support you in some way. You will not be left without. Like, whatever the slowdown is here in your personal income, don't worry about it, because there's more money, finances and resources coming from somebody else. If you are single, somebody that is in a position of authority, maybe somebody that you work with or alongside, maybe somebody in your field that is a peer, is definitely taking a shining to you. And I've seen this for a while for Leos. So I'm really interested or intrigued to see where this is happening. Like, because, we out here. Sorry, couldn't resist. All right, so for our weeks of the month, we have, for the first week of the month, we've got the Star card, right? With that Six of Pentacles. Not only is that hopeful, optimistic, happy energy, but with that Six of Pentacles, there is definitely a sense of community, a sense of tribe. This first week of the month, pay attention to who sends you well wishes, pay attention to who checks in with you, pay attention to all the people that are kind of on your side in some way, shape or form, because the chances are they could be doing that for a long time, or they're pointing the way for you for things to really improve. This would be a great time for maybe thinking about launching a website. Remember, Venus is still retrograde until the 29th of Jan. So you just want to keep that in mind. And Mercury is slowing down at this point to go retrograde on the 15th of January. So if you can get it in before then, great. If you're already a Venus or a Mercury or Venus and Mercury retrograde native, then it's not so bad for you. But I like this. Not only is it hopeful, but it's also like it's got that community feel, and it's definitely charitable. Like there's something here where you could be doing something just because it feels good to you to do, right? And sometimes that's giving, sometimes it's helping, sometimes it's listening to somebody, you know, like, lovely. For your second week of the month, you've got the Hierophant card with the Four of Swords, right? So if you have been waiting, if any of you have applied for loans, mortgages, etc., this basically says there are delays, right? You got the Four of Swords with the Hierophant card. That is institutional money that is held up, right? So if you're waiting to hear back for your mortgage application, if you're waiting to hear back for a loan application, etc., do not fret, right? The money that you need will absolutely come to you. It's just not going to come in the time frame that you expected it. And with the two retrogrades that I talked about to happen, or one already in full swing at this point, and the one that's coming coming up, it makes total sense. And it's funny as well, because when I really started to get more deeper into astrology, I started to look at the trends and themes of Mercury and seeing, oh, okay, so, you know, transactions will slow down, and, you know, maybe I won't get as many clients that month, or like, and when I look at that, so now what I've done is put things in place so that when it happens, I'm like, meh, you know what, the retrograde hoe is doing his thing, and it's really not that much of an issue, right? So as we come into the fourth week of the month, you've got the Fool card. This is new work. This is new opportunities coming through work. This is new opportunities, maybe new financial agreements as well, for sure. But it's definitely new information, new knowledge, new skills. There's something about you gaining knowledge, information that you're weaving into your own practices, that you're weaving into your work, maybe where you're preparing to do something big with your job or with your work, right? Which is really, really nice. Now you've got the Fool card next to the Hierophant card, which suggests that third week of the month, you may see some movement around this stuck or blockage of finances, but it's going to be short-lived. It'll be like a moment where you think, oh, okay, maybe this is going to, okay, no, we're still waiting, right? But don't fret, it will come good. There's an influx of new energy here around this third week of the month, and I am definitely here for it. And then finally, for your fourth week of the month, you've got the Moon card. You've got this underneath the Magician, right? So for those of you that are single, this person is likely to be somebody that you know. It's likely to be somebody that's already in your orbit. I will say, because you've got the Moon card here, be careful, because this person may not be fully single, or they may have just come out of a relationship. And sometimes that's the way that it happens, right? We've just come out of a relationship and then we swear them off for life, and then we meet someone and we're like, oh crap, I don't know, this feels too soon, and we start to throw up all kinds of personal barriers. Be conscious and cautious of that, because I mean, and this, because it's next to the Fool card as well. So I wonder if this is somebody that you know indirectly that comes back into your world. And I wonder if you or they have just recently come out of a relationship, or maybe you've finally closed down a relationship that had lingered for a long time, and you're like, no, I'm not sure I'm ready. And then this somebody shows up. This could be a really interesting time of it. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, this is really nice. And especially because the Moon card, it's not always of detriment. Sometimes it really just speaks to the fear or the stress that we might feel. And because this is underneath the Magician card, I get the feeling, for those of you that are partnered or married, it's like the partner's like, I can see how you feel, And if you do me a favor and just drop your guard a little, right, let some of that barbed wire down, I'll show you that I've got you. This is one of those times where you can really trust that your partner is what they're saying to you, right? So be open to this. So for your new moon message, got that new moon straight out the gate on it's on the 2nd of January. We have the gate 34 and power, right? So this new moon in the sign of Capricorn is really going to reveal to you where your most powerful path lies. And more importantly, I think this is for a lot of you, this is going to be a demonstration of a skill, a demonstration of a gift that you might have. For some of you, it could just explode and turn up, right? And especially if it's a spiritual or a psychic gift, sometimes those things can be really disconcerting. But for some of you, this could be something that you find out like, oh, I'm really good at this. And actually, I want to do more of it. And it could show up for you here right out of the gate, which is great. That rhymed. For your full moon message, you've got the gate 32 and endurance. So one of the things about this card is it reminds us that when we move from instinct to pure adrenaline, we don't get things done. We tend to chase our own tails. But if we are fixed and focused on the goal, we can get there much quicker. This full moon is probably going to show you or reveal to you how you're getting in your own way, and more importantly, why. All right, so that is your month, Leo. Happy New Year to you. I truly hope you have an amazing January of 2022. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and this resonates, hit the subscribe button for those continued Leos. You know I love you. Take care, and I'll see you soon.